to replace Reading under-21s who pulled out, but they play in the same division. They're one place different and on the same points as Reading's under-21s. One or two familiar names in the Derby County under-21 lineup. I say that with the enunciation on under-21 because one of the two familiar names isn't under-21, but they're allowed to bring a couple of older players in, of course. Quick hello and good evening to my regular summariser here at the EBB, Steve Gibbs. We'll go through the teams in just a minute, but your initial thoughts. Tommy Widrington has clearly taken it pretty seriously. He's gone pretty strong.
He has, yeah, and I think rightly so. It's a chance particularly for the likes of Manny Madger, maybe Dan Ellison, to integrate themselves into this team. A long overdue first start for the Shots in a competitive game for Manny Madger, and a few players in the Derby lineup that we're excited to see, and maybe as Aldershot Town watchers a little bit fearful of the impact that they could have, but certainly it's set up for a really good, open, exciting game. The one thing about Derby County, if you watch any of their matches at this level, they play out from the back with the goalkeeper almost on his line acting as a sweeper. Any pressing ushers defensive errors, they will concede goals.
Well, so far in this competition, which it's fair to say wasn't received with too much popularity, there's been an average of 4.5 goals a game. Now this is the only National League Cup game tonight, and they've come to the EBB where the average in the stadium is about 4.5 over the last year or so. Teams are changing ends, so one to Derby there, I think.
Derby have done their homework.
Won't make a lot of difference which way they kick because the East Bank and the community stand are empty this evening for understandable reasons, stewarding costs, etc. Everybody who is here is in the North Stand, other than one or two strategically placed ball retrievers, I think they're called these days. So Aldershot Town have got kick-off, and they start with Van Stappershoef in goal, Ellison, Maghoma and Bird at the back, Scott Jones, Madger and Aaron Jones across the middle, James Henry, Kai Corbett and Jack Barham up top. We're underway, and quickly Aldershot are onto the ball in midfield with James Henry, who's pulled down for a foul. Derby line-up with Harley Price in goal, Tristan Gill, Adisa Asayande, Kai Robinson, Max Bardell, Tom Barkhusen, who's quite clearly that overage player, Liam Thompson, Jake Rooney, Cruz Allen, DeJean Brown, familiar name for National League followers from his loan at Gateshead last year, and Alex Stepien Ibumini. Shots of the ball on the left-hand side with Ollie Scott, fresh from that 98th minute assist on Saturday in the FA Cup, which saw Max Mullins score his first competitive shots goal, and Aldershot progress to the first round of the FA Cup, where they'll travel to Bradford City, familiar opposition not only from the League 2 days but from the FA Cup, where it's not too many years since they lost in a replay on penalties, and I had the great, apparently, Mark Butler alongside me in commentating for that one, Steve.
He told you he was great, did he?
Apparently, everyone does.
Well,
I don't remember those years.
I don't know, 155 and 303, those numbers ring true somehow. That's people who don't know what we're talking about. Mark Butler is the club's, Aldershot Town's commercial manager, and in a former life, but still, and probably forever, the club's all-time record goal scorer with 155 goals in 303 appearances, which he will tell anybody who listens.
For those of you joining us tonight who also listened to the commentary on Saturday in the FA Cup, as Ellison has the ball at the back and plays it out to Aaron Jones, perfect opportunity timely for him to come back into the game tonight. Nice touch around the corner from Barham, and is the Aldershot Town player chopped down there as he tries to get the ball in? Nothing given, still prone on the ground. Can't quite see who it is from here, but it might be Ryan Jones, is it? But nothing given. Goal kick to Derby County under-21s. Right, let's get it out of the way. Anybody who's playing commentary bingo, Jake Rooney, the number 4 for Derby, is the cousin of Wayne and John. Here's Corbett trying to keep a ball in on the left-hand side, and he can't. It'll be a throw into Derby County in the right-back position, and Jake Rooney it is who is going to take that now. 21-year-old playing for the under-21s. I mentioned that overage player, Steve. Tom Barku's a familiar name. Obviously, the timing of the match has been good for him to get some minutes, and Derby County taking the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely, great experience. 31 years old now, not even under 21, barely under 31. But yeah, the competition rules do allow for overage players to come in, and I think it's balanced out. It's not strictly an under 21s team at the lower age as well. There are a few 17 and 18 year olds in this team as well, because Derby have got some players who've been away on international duty.
Good battle between Ellison, Dijon, Brown. Ellison gets his head on it, but it deflects to a Derby player. Then they lose possession, and then Aldershot put it into touch. So a throw-in is taken halfway inside their own half by Derby, back to the goalkeeper. I've just realised for the first time, as Barham presses almost with success, I think it might be the first time I'm commentating for NLTV only and not BBC, so I probably don't need to describe every pass.
You do not. The art of the TV commentary is much different.
Absolutely. Please forgive me, viewers, for that. I will not insult your intelligence by describing every pass, but obviously normally it's a joint commentary, and we do have to keep the descriptive element of it up in order to please our online listeners. But yeah, we are now 4.5 minutes in to the National League Cup debut here at the EBB, and it's Aldershot Town 0, Derby County under 21s 0. Ball forward to the right hand side, but couldn't be kept in play by the Derby County number 7, the aforementioned Mr. Barkhausen. Train pulls out of Aldershot. I'm glad, Steve, that I was on a slightly earlier train than I needed to be, or I thought I needed to be tonight, because there were a few issues on the line, and obviously did get here in time, but could have been a little dicey had I not been on that train. Anyway, let's get back to matters in hand. Stepien Iwumini plays the ball back, almost gets it again, and then he's fouled by James Henry. He's wearing the number 10 shirt tonight. Dijon Brown, the number 9. And Steve and I were chatting pre-match about Dijon Brown, and I said, oh, that's going to be a big test for the Shots defence tonight. He really looked the part on his loan spell at Gateshead last season, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah. He's a composed, predatory finisher, can also turn and break from deep, where he uses his pace and his power. If he gets the opportunities, if this Derby team give him the right sort of service, he will be dangerous.
Great steal there from Barham, and the Shots now go back down the left side with Scott and Lucky Bird. One player I thought who, you know, in the ideal circumstances deserved a rest tonight, but he's not going to get one, and he is supreme fitness, is Lucky Bird. Let's come back to that, as Ryan Jones does really well through the centre to feed Ollie Scott. Scott plays it down the line, and that was a little rushed, and it didn't need to be, so Kai Corbett won't keep it in. Yeah, if you could pick a player that's been playing regularly lately who you'd want to give a rest to tonight, it would be Lucky, wouldn't it? But I guess the 3 fit and available centre-backs are all in the team. Yeah,
it's maybe the one position where Aldershot Town didn't have too many options this evening, and even if Tommy had maybe suggested that Lockie wanted a rest, I'm sure he wouldn't have taken that opportunity. He does look the sort of player that wants to play football, and maybe he relishes the sort of game here this evening where it's perhaps a slightly different proposition than National League teams usually offer.
Scott can't get his cross in, but the ball ricochets back to Manny Madger, and Lucky Bird will stroke it out to Christian Magoma. Is the sound I can hear rain, Steve, or not?
I don't think. No.
There's a new sound that's just picked up in my ears, but we'll work out what it is.
I think it's a train arriving.
Very, very slowly. Right, Shots have the ball. James Henry tries a little up and under down the right side, and it's headed into touch by Derby County's Kai Robinson. And initial thoughts on the game, Steve? We're only 7.5 minutes in. Both sides feeling each other out somewhat.
They are, yeah. Both teams sticking to their principles, playing football in every part of the pitch, even perhaps at the potential expense of defensive solidity. We know that Derby do that, but Aldershot Town doing that as well. And yeah, I think promising signs of enterprise from both teams, but no clear chances. That said, James Henry is on the ball.
Holding it up, back to goal. Goes back to Ryan Jones. Jones will take the ricochet that drifts behind the goal at the East Bank end, and it will be a corner to the Shots. Immediately Ollie Scott comes back to be the deepest outfield player. Aaron Jones making a late run towards the box, or certainly a space on the edge of it. In comes the corner, powerfully headed away by Jake Rooney, I think, who's skippering the Derby County under-21s tonight.
No, I think it was Max Bardell.
Oh, it's Max Bardell, I beg your pardon. Yeah, good shout, good spot. Here's the Shots recycling possession. Henry feeds it to Ollie Scott, who finds Lucky Bird on the left side. We'll just hold it up and go back to Manny Madger. Nice ball through the middle from Madger to find Corbett, and Corbett with a nice ball out to the left, provided Ollie Scott can get there. He does. First time cross. Barham's onto it, manages to poke it back towards Madger, who gets his foot on to win the ball back. Barham shoots, deflected, out to Henry. Henry shifts it right to Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones tries a shot, and that's cleared away. And Shots player has gone down. Is it Madger?
I fear it might be.
Didn't quite see what happened there. I
think he won the ball cleanly and really impressively, but I think in the aftermath of the tackle, we don't have the benefit of any replays here this evening, but I think he's got injured in the aftermath of winning the ball back.
Yeah, he did really well, didn't he, to outstretch his leg and win it. I do hope he's okay. It's his first start of any kind, really, competitively for Aldershot Town. He was on the bench for the first time in a long while on Saturday, and he is clutching the back of his right leg at the moment. He
does look in some discomfort, unfortunately.
In some discomfort, but also randomly, I'd say in his body language, it's not a forlorn look of someone who knows his game's over.
No, it's not.
It's more inquisitive. What's happened here? Am I going to be okay to continue? I don't know whether the plan might only have been for him to get 45 minutes tonight anyway, just to ease his way back. We'll have to see. Yeah,
I think maybe Tommy included him among the substitutes on Saturday in the hope that Aldershot Town might be a little bit more comfortable in their result against Bath, so he would have been able to make a late cameo appearance on his way back, but he's come in tonight. It's, for me, surprising that he's straight into the starting lineup, but he is a naturally athletic sort of player, so and I think it may be to manage his minutes rather than expect him to last the full 90, but he's walking off down this near side, hopefully limping slightly, but looks like he's able to continue.
That's Steve Gibbs, and I'm Rob Worrell. Thank you for tuning into NLTV tonight to have a little nose at the National League Cup. And this is Aldershot Town's first foray into it. Derby County's as well, and they weren't in the original lineup, but promptly replaced Reading under-21s. And Madger, a little gingerly, walks back to the halfway line. Not sure if you can pick that up on the cameras or not, but he certainly wants to come back on. There's DeJean Brown with a sharp turn, and he has the pace to keep the ball in. He's going one-on-one against Ellison, and Ellison does well, wins the ball, clears it into touch, and he's one player who you'd think is getting the necessary minutes tonight to potentially be back in the Shots starting lineup on Saturday. There's a good win from Lucky Bird, exchanges passes with Corbett, and then comes back down the line, loses it. Rooney plays a ball through. Lucky Bird is caught late as he clears it forward, and That is by the Derby County captain Max Bardell, and they have a little look at each other. Referee, familiar name actually to us, Steve, and at National League level, James Durkin.
Yeah,
and
a familiar refereeing name to seasoned football watchers around the country, and definitely Mr. Durkin is a chip off the old block.
What was his dad, Paul? Paul Durkin. He's very high up on the refereeing, assessing kind of structure these days. We have got some rain. It was the train and not the rain I heard previously, but we do now have some drizzle. Wouldn't be the EBB and North East Hampshire if there wasn't a little bit of rain in the air, Steve.
A bit of grease on the surface, it'll just make the game all that little bit more interesting.
Absolutely. 13 minutes gone, 0-0. If you've tuned in tonight with a high expectation for goals based on the 4.5 so far in this competition and the plethora of goals that usually rain in at the EBB.
Yeah, and in their last Premier League 2 game, Derby County conceded 6 against Sunderland.
Yeah, they got a -7 goal difference in that league. Currently sit 22nd out of 26, 27 teams?
26 teams,
26 teams. But interestingly, it's Premier League 2, but I'm not sure if that divides up geographically or not, because top of that league are Manchester City and Liverpool, so you wouldn't expect that to be the second division.
I think it's now following the I think what is called the Swiss format of the Champions League, so it's a 26 team division, but not everybody plays everybody.
Gotcha. Here's James Henry in possession for the shots just inside the Derby County half, and eventually the Aldershot go back to Van Staffordshire and out to this left side to Lucky Bird. He's playing in the left sided of the three. Lovely ball forward, being chased down by Jack Barham. He's retrieved it just inside the penalty area, getting to the byline, pulls it back, finds Corbett, gives it back to Barham. Barham busy again on the edge of the area, and then he slightly overruns it. And Derby County come out down the left hand side. Another good tackle again from Lucky Bird, who I think you gave your man of the match to, didn't you, on Saturday, Steve?
Yeah, I did. I think some people might say that he's taken some time to settle into this shots team. I think he's been consistently impressive.
Interestingly, Ellison is playing in the centre of the three tonight. Maghomer on the right side. Now naturally Maghomer would be in the centre, but I wonder if Tommy's trying something out ahead of Saturday. With Ellison playing central, it would be logical, wouldn't it?
It would be, absolutely, yeah.
Because obviously Maghomer is going to be out for the next 3 games. It's definitely a 3-card red, isn't it?
Yes. Absolutely.
Because you can't give 6.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, no.
The only danger would be that it might have been upgraded for excessive force, but no, I think 3 it will be, and. Yeah, with those games coming up, Ellison is definitely going to be needed in the next week.
Barham adjudged to be coming back from an offside position there. Good evening to Bobby Blair, who's watching the game on NLTV. He said, great to hear you and Steve doing the commentary. Yeah, Bobby's sometimes in here with us in the commentary box on scoreboard duty from time to time, and works hard with many aspects of the club, from great supporter of the club, and good evening to Gina Balston, who's watching and listening. Good evening, Ellie. What time are you letting Ellie stay up till, Gina? Early kick-off might help, mightn't it?
I think it might, yeah, absolutely, yeah. If anyone heard, well, probably saw, we're not on the radio, are we? Derby took a free kick for an offside position in the Aldershot town half, which I'm not quite sure stacks up in the rules.
Oh, interesting little stat here, which I'll read out in a minute. But shots are on the attack with Jack Barham. Gives the ball out to Ryan Jones, goes for the return, but it's cut out quite easily by Derby County. And then a poor ball forward is cut out by Ollie Scott. And he's drifting down the left-hand side. He's got 2 players for company. He's into the penalty area. He's getting to the byline and very stumbles and goes down. And mild shouts for a penalty. It didn't matter in the end because Ryan Jones was there in a central position. to tap in from a pretty similar position to Maxi Mullins in the 98th minute on Saturday. And the Shots have scored the first goal of this National League Cup tie, and it's Ryan Jones who's got it. And with his thoughts on the move and a lovely bit of trickery and skill from Ryan Scott, and is Steve Gibbs.
Yeah, he had absolutely no right to burst his way through those two Derby County defenders. Yeah, Ollie Scott continuing where he left off on Saturday. Superb run down the left hand side. We said in commentary on Saturday when he came on with 2.5 minutes of normal time left that he would try his best to put in 90 minutes effort in 2.5 minutes, and he's carried on where he left off tonight. Superb driving run. For me, I don't think it was going to be a penalty. I think it was a bit of a stumble, a coming together, a bit of ushered down by a strong shoulder from the defender, but nonetheless he was able to keep his composure and pick out a teammate in position A.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it went straight to Ryan Jones or maybe it was just slightly cannon back off a defender into the path of Jones. I'd have to see a replay, and we don't get that benefit. You might have had it on NLTV. So Gina, Bobby, relying on you now if you did see a replay. Was it a straight assist from Ollie Scott, or did it come off the defender into Ryan Jones' path? Shots clear the ball forward, but Derby County coming back. Rooney inside, and then Lucky Bird clears to touch. He's been impressive for me, whether he's played left-sided of the three or right, and he looks equally comfortable. He's just a born defender, out-and-out defender. Doesn't mind getting the ball under control and getting his head down and going forward a bit as well if there's space and room to do so. Here's Derby trying to get the ball in. It comes off of that man Bird and then held in by the goal line by Derby, and now they try and get a cross in. That's met just inside the penalty area. Cross comes in from the number 11, Cruz Allen. Goes all the way through to Aaron Jones, who clears the long ball forward, looking for Jack Parham. He gets up well to win it in the air. Derby will then win the next header, and they regain a bit of composure and possession just inside their own half. And then wasn't a great ball forward. I don't think the skipper Max Bardell appreciated that. He had to switch the afterburners on to get to it, and his body language wasn't great moving on to that, was it, Steve?
It wasn't. No, I certainly don't think he appreciated that. But yeah, Lockie Bird has started superbly. He's almost playing in that back three. He's being drawn out of position into a more orthodox left back spot up against the experience of Tom Barkhazen, and at the moment Bird's winning that contest hands down.
A little bit more on the format of this league shortly, listeners, particularly when we and viewers, beg your pardon. Years of habit, sorry about that. You may or may not have seen the finer detail of this competition, but as Aldershot are just playing it around, now they try a forward ball and that doesn't come off. Derby County regain possession, and their forward ball won't find its target either, although Maghomer can't quite get the ball under control, and they're coming down the left hand side. Ball squared to DeJean Brown, sharp turn, good block from Ellison. DeJean Brown's shot was on target, I think. Another cross back into the box, headed away by Ellison, and the follow-up shot comes in from Jake Rooney, and he drags it wide. So 21 minutes gone, 1-0 still to the Shots. So in terms of tonight then, if the scores are level on 90 minutes, the game will go straight to penalties. You get 1 point for a draw and 2 points for a win on penalties, 3 points for a win inside the 90 minutes. Nod from Steve, nothing to add to that. It's pretty straightforward and clear.
Yeah, I think an exciting format, but potential of a bonus penalty shootout. And I think Rooney's shot there was always arrowing wide. He was a little bit off balance, leaning backwards, and it was always heading wide of Von Stappershoeff's post. Everything from Derby, or most of it, has come down this right hand side with Barkhazen. First time that we saw Cruz Allen on the left hand side there, and it was a good direct run, typical of him, driving run, and a good cross, a good block from Ellison as Brown turned inside the penalty area. But Cruz Allen is one player that I was excited to see this evening, a Wales under 18 international.
It's a late tackle there on James Henry, who who was marginally late himself, and then the tackle came in even later. The referee and he has got his yellow card out, to be fair. I'm told that from another aspect of this competition, this is from Tom Scott at the National League, that this is a standalone competition in terms of the disciplinary side.
Yeah.
So, for example, that's the reason why Christian McComa can play tonight for Aldershot, despite being sent off in the FA Cup at the weekend.
Yeah, I think that's the right decision, because anything to encourage managers to play their first choice teams, because they certainly wouldn't want to accrue unnecessary yellow cards, red cards in this competition that could then put them out of National League games.
Yeah, coming back to the format, so there's 8 teams in the league, 4 of them National League clubs, 4 of them under-21 sides. The other under-21 sides are Brighton, Fulham and Southampton. And at the end of all the games, once the 4 games have been played, that are all at the National League clubs at home in them, the league table will obviously take shape by then. No decision by the referee this time, and Ellison goes to ground and wins the ball again, quite low and quite committed, but fairly according to the referee. And then another fair challenge according to the referee. 3 on the trot. He waves play on. Derby continue down the left side. More on the format in a minute. There's a lovely sharp turn and the ball dragged back, but well cut out by James Henry. I think it was Cruz Allen who was doing the good work there on the left hand side, Steve.
Yeah, it was Allen and Barkhazen who'd moved over onto that left hand side as well.
Good evening to Colin Hayden. Great start for the shots. He says, shame the crowd is a bit sparse. I think it's understandable for more reasons than one, Colin. There's 4 consecutive home matches here at the EBB. Eastleigh come here on Saturday and Southend next Tuesday. Of course,
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Wednesday. Got to keep reminding myself. It is in my diary. I was due to do some other work that Wednesday evening. I had to swap a shift, because it's very rare that the shots would play on a Wednesday. I'm not 100% sure what the reason is. Do you know, Steve?
But it was, I think, I saw a simple explanation that said it was for television. I don't know if Southend's weekend fixture has been moved. I haven't yet quite moved on to that part of the fixture calendar, but
here's Barkhusen on the left, giving the ball to Cruz Allen. And Derby keep the ball on the left side. Plenty of bodies. There's 5 shots defenders in, just 2 Derby players. Ellison gets above Brown to win the ball. It's half cleared to Bardell. Or rather, Bardell exchanges passes with Rooney. Lucky Bird clears it into touch. And that relatively sparse crowd that Colin Hayden referred to burst into applause for Lucky Bird's challenge. I felt a couple of games in, Steve, that he might be the next Aldershot Town player to go into that sort of Jake Gallagher type club, you know, where he just becomes a firm
a cult hero.
Do you get where I'm coming from?
I do, absolutely. And he does play with that reckless abandon, but in the sense that he just puts his body on the line, and it's that cliche, he'll put his head where other players fear to put their feet. And he does play with his heart on his sleeve, and yeah, I think it does endear yourself to the Shot supporters.
Controlled, reckless.
Well, yes,
definitely.
It's just his enthusiasm.
Dear oh dear. Very committed challenge there from Bardell with Ollie Scott, who literally bounces off him, does a 360 pirouette in the air, and thankfully lands okay. To be fair, I thought Bardell was entitled to go for that, Steve.
He was.
Neither player shirked the challenge. There was nothing nasty about it. And I think the referee, understandably, just saying, look, okay, marginally late, free kick, Aldershot, nothing more required.
I think absolutely no blame on Bardell whatsoever. I'm not even sure if he was aware of Ollie Scott's imminent arrival.
No, they were both totally focused on the ball.
And just to wrap up, possibly, the Southend question, they're the evening kick-off, the 5:30 kick-off on Saturday evening, all the way up at Rochdale. So maybe there are National League rules that allow you to move a fixture if there's not a certain period of time, a gap between one fixture and the next.
And while we're talking about games on TV or on apps, whatever it is these days, the Zone, the Shots game against Wealdstone in November
has
been brought forward in terms of the kick-off time to 12:30 that day. And for Shots fans listening in, certainly locally based, well, hang on, let's just get back to the action here. Shots have it with Jones, he squares it across, he's looking for Ollie Scott, but Barkhuizen's well placed, he goes back to his keeper. For Shots fans who live locally, interestingly that day, 12:30 kick-off here at Aldershot, Farnborough take on Scotty Davis Slough 2 or 3 miles down the road at 3 o'clock. And
can it be done?
Oh, it definitely can be done. I mean, I'll be commentating on the game, God willing, and I'm going to try and make it down to Farnborough. Great opportunity to catch up with a few familiar faces, including Scotty Davis, of course, and one or two people at Farnborough. For those who haven't followed and tracked it,
an exciting doubleheader.
Yeah, Waleed Khan, who's a former director here and briefly at Dorking for a season, is now on the board at Farnborough, and I hope to catch up with him on that day, as well as Garbo, as I know him, Simon Gardner, the chairman of Farnborough, who just randomly happened to work at DHL when I did a few years ago, and we both played for and were involved in jointly running the national DHL team. I ran the first team and he ran the second team, and these days he's the chairman of Farnborough, which is rather bizarre, isn't it?
It is. Football's either a small world or it's a vast universe, but what's your ambitions for buying or running a semi-professional football club?
Zero, I think, mate. Zero, that's for sure. But Garbo's done really well. He's an owner-driver courier at DHL. I believe he still is. And I don't quite know the full story of how he got involved with Farnborough, but he loves it. He's actually on the National League board now as well, representing Farnborough, a role that he's very proud of. Here's Kai Corbett pinging the ball out to the right-hand side to Aaron Jones. Jones to Ryan Jones. He goes for the overlap. Ryan Jones sends a ball in. It's missed by Barham, who tries an extravagant flail of his heel. And Derby clear the ball. Now play it forward. It will go all the way through from one keeper to the other. I don't know if I mentioned, it would probably be logical, but Aaron Jones back in the side tonight is skippering the Shots. Perfect timing for him to get back out there, Steve, because he was just feeling his way back, wasn't he, previously, and then he got that red card and has missed the last 3 games.
Yeah, I think regardless of the red card, it was would have been wise to ease him back after such a long time out, and particularly with Ashley Akpan starting so impressively, stepping in so impressively at the very beginnings of his Aldershot Town career, then there was no real urgency.
Here's Madger pinging the ball out to the right-hand side, and he's looked comfortable and competent in this opening half an hour. It's as much as many of us have seen of him. There's a cracking ball from Ellison to Ollie Scott on the left wing. Plays a ball down the line for Kai Corbett, who's been very willing with his work rate this evening. Picks up the ball on the left side, drifts inside, now finds Scott's dragged across again. This time no one's there to poke it home, but Corbett's into the box. He's shimmied past one, comes back to Scott, ball to the far post, and it's home by Aaron Jones, who's well positioned, and his shot was ricocheted in off the line. It was a powerful shot, and there was an attempt to block it on the line, but it couldn't keep it out. And Aaron Jones on his return, and there's a little commentary similar to Saturday. We were talking about a player and then he puts the ball in the net.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
No, I think Price in the Derby goal got a hand to it, probably got 2 strong hands to it, but he couldn't prevent it from crossing the line via the side netting. And once again, excellent play down the left-hand side from Aldershot Town. So, well done, Aaron Jones. Ryan Jones and Aaron Jones with the goals so far.
Yeah, forgive the
Must
pun.
be something about Derby and Jones.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Or
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Keeping up with the Jones. There we go. I teed you up to say what I was thinking. That's how long we've been.
As usual, there was a
commentating
satellite
together.
delay in my thinking. I'm sorry.
There we go. No, I thought you went for the slightly less obvious one. Now, I did promise about 20 minutes ago to read out an interesting stat that had been sent to me and then completely forgot about it. Don't worry, Mr. Pete Stamford, I will give it out very shortly. But 32 and a half minutes gone, 2-0 shots then. Another 2.5 goals required to keep up the average in the National League Cup. You can't have half a goal, of course. Here's Barham holding the ball up, going back to Scott, and then Kai Corbett tries to ping it out to the left. Barham's pulled down around about 8-9 yards outside the Derby penalty area. It'll be a free kick to the shots. I wanted to say good lively start to the first half from Kai Corbett, who's really relishing and knows he needs to take an opportunity to shine brightly tonight.
Definitely, yeah. We've not seen the best of Kai yet. In fleeting glimpses, he's shown the potential that is undoubtedly there, that Tommy and Jamie Hedges have spotted in him. But yeah, he needs to step up and flourish in the red and blue.
So that stat I was going to read out was about the referee and his family. We'll come back to that after this free kick. James Henry's interested, Ryan Jones is interested, but Kai Corbett, who has a little bit of history in his career from this kind of spot, is going to take it. Right-footed. Up steps Corbett, low, hits the wall, comes back to him. Second follow-up shot hits the wall too, and then Ryan Jones retrieves the ball and shots come all the way back through Lackey Bird to Ellison. Please forgive me if I called Ellison Tom Ellison at any point. I don't know where that comes from, but it is Dan. Here's Corbett going to shoot from distance. And this one he gets all wrong, and yeah, his work rate's been superb tonight, and he's been a bit frustrated. He did deliberately go for a low one, didn't he? Around the outside of the wall. Didn't come off, Steve. But
no, it was a nice idea though. Certainly, with the likelihood that the modern defensive wall is going to jump, then yeah, I think it was always worth trying to squirm the ball through around. Past and through the defender's feet. But yeah, Billy Durkin, I believe.
Oh, you see, you've stolen Pete Stamford's thunder now. He says that James Durkin's grandfather was Billy Durkin, who played as an inside forward for Aldershot FC between 1949 and 1954. So there you go. Terrific little bit of extra detail from Pete Stamford, who kind of concurs with you on the Southend game being moved to the Wednesday. Apparently was moved to coincide with the migration of National League TV onto DAZN as well. So certainly related to the DAZN TV coverage, that's for sure. Southend ping a ball out to the left-hand side. Can DeJean Brown keep it in? No. And interested to see him playing for Derby County again. You would have thought, after that success with Gateshead on loan last season, he might well have been loaned out to a League One or League Two team, and he may well still be at some point.
He may well do, yeah. He's played 2 games in the Carabao Cup this season, made 2 substitute appearances in the Championship as well, so he's definitely establishing himself in the Derby first team squad, even if he's not quite ready to make a start yet.
Here's Derby coming down the right hand side, a little bit of a misunderstanding. Lucky Bird positions himself well to shepherd the ball out for the corner. He doesn't need to in the end because he's fouled, and Aldershot Town have a free kick just a yard or so. Well, maybe they've given the goal kicker anyway. They've allowed the goal kick to be taken from inside the area. Not too much fussiness from the officials there, none required really. Ball forward down the right, Ryan Jones trying to get onto it, and can't, but Derby regain possession. Just a word on the Aldershot shape tonight, Steve. You've got the 3 at the back, and then it does look as almost if this is a diamond midfield, doesn't it? Madger, the deepest, and then Henry and Corbett quite deep, with Ryan Jones appearing quite a lot on the more like the inside right forward channel, really up there in support of Barham a lot of the time. Just keep an eye on it. I don't know if it's a slight tweak on the usual shape.
It is definitely, yeah.
Madger plays the ball out to Bird, and shots come forward, but Ollie Scott's intended pass forwards cut out. Certainly looking at Madger out there against the young, slightly built Derby players, he's a real unit, isn't he? And great to see. You don't see too many central midfielders big and strong like that. Aldershot had one, albeit a little leaner in terms of Jaden Harris, who was, I think, the best player I've seen at National League level at winning the ball back, actually. The season that he was here, and he's been doing so
with
very much.
His mobility and his telescopic legs, I think that was the key strength in his game.
Shots winning it on halfway. Barham feeds the ball out to the right hand side to his skipper Aaron Jones, tries the early ball in. That's cut out away by Derby County, but only as far as James Henry. Madger pings a ball through to Corbett, who immediately finds Ollie Scott. Ollie Scott drags it across, and it's headed behind for a corner to the shots at the East Bank end once they retrieve the ball. In fact, it didn't quite go into the East Bank, and Aldershot will fetch the ball through Ryan Jones, who's going to go over and potentially take a short corner with Kai Corbett. Certainly going to drag two Derby County players out anyway.
Yeah, it was potentially a bit of a risky defensive header from Ossiandi. I'm not quite sure how much control he had on it, but it went perilously close to the Derby net.
So they are going to send it in. Great cross, and shots players couldn't quite get onto it. It's come out as far as Henry, edge of the area, but forced wide, and Aaron Jones then drags his pass a little behind Ryan Jones, but Jones watches it well and retrieves it, and then Aaron Jones in a central position plays it back to Geordie van Stappershoef. Lovely ball out to the left to Kai Corbett. He'd love to get amongst the goals tonight, as of course with Jack Barham, and as of course with Hadi Gandor, who I'm sure we'll see at some point in the second half. Noticeable that Roland Menegas isn't on the bench tonight. I did mention when they celebrated that 98th minute goal, I said the exhausted Menegas was the only outfield player that didn't join the celebrations in the corner flag, and I don't know if there was anything in that, but he may have a slight knock, he may have a bit of fatigue, he might well just be rested up and wrapped up in cotton wool, because he'll be needed on Saturday potentially.
I think so. I think with 3 games next week, and then in a couple of weeks the FA Cup first round tie at Bradford City, then I think that if any players are in anywhere near the physical red zone, then there's no need to risk them whatsoever.
It was fun tonight trying to guess the Aldershot Town starting lineup. From the outside looking in, of course, we know nothing about their fitness levels, who's carrying a knock, anything like that. But I had a go at it. See, we got 9 out of 11. I was quite pleased with that. Here's Derby, lovely shimmy and turn inside, and then a shot over the bar from Cruz Allen. Everything he's done on the ball's been neat and tidy, but that one was sadly lacking the finish, Steve.
It was, yeah. He is a tricky player, a direct player, but not the best finish. But maybe, tongue-in-cheek, I might say that was slightly too close for him. He scored from the centre circle for Wales under-18s against Slovakia last month, so obviously he needs a few more yards distance to get himself on target.
Absolutely. Please forgive me, viewers, if I'm over-describing the play tonight. I keep reminding myself that you're all watching it and nobody's just listening. And I think it is. I can't remember the time that I did a commentary this way. So I'll try and shut up occasionally and let you just watch and enjoy. And when I shut up,
no comment.
Rest assured, Steve Gibbs will open his mouth and come in anyway. He'll just seize the opportunity. Great to one or two the regular Shots fans who perhaps normally be here and listening and don't normally watching, don't normally do so. Good evening to you. might be many reasons that you're not here tonight, like Gary Michael D, who's just messaged to say that he's watching and listening, and he couldn't quite make the early kick-off time, otherwise he'd have been here. Of course, we kicked off at 7 o'clock, which means that one or two of you might just be tuning in expecting the game to kick off. Yeah, if so, whatever it cost on NLTV tonight, and there are some rumours that it was free, Steve.
I believe so, yes.
Then
I am relying on the Derby County Academy X account for that information, but yeah, you'd assume that they would be a reliable source.
Good first half for the Shots, in terms of the scoreline, in terms of everybody coming through it okay, including Manny Madger, who's just untangling himself from a tackle with DeJean Brown. And Derby go all the way back to their keeper Harley Price, who kicks forward. Ellison jumps. DeJean Brown says, "Off my back." Referee once again continues with his approach to tonight's game, which is only giving the physical stuff if it's really clear and obvious. And throw into Aldershot in the right back position. We can't really estimate the crowd. Hopefully we'll have it officially to give out at some point relatively early in the second half. Madger has gone down.
Yeah, there was
you might be a bit of
50-50 just down here a couple of minutes ago that he took a while to extricate himself from, but I think he's been really impressive this evening. A real presence in the Aldershot Town midfield, a really strong, combative, ball-winning presence, and his season has been so disrupted so far that I think of anyone in this Aldershot Town team, you hope that he's able to at least have the opportunity for an extended run in the team.
We're going to get the added time very shortly. We're a minute or so away from it, but I think I can see already that it's 3. It could be a 2. Let's have a look. Well, we'll stop guessing and wait and see what it actually comes up as. Manny comes off to the side. Manny Madger comes off to the side, and just explaining something. Be surprised, with a couple of knocks he's had and how little football he's played, if he does appear for the second half. But obviously,
maybe Tommy will give him 15 at the start of the second half. See how he feels at half time. I think.
Yeah.
There's no point stretching him too far, because he's going to have a part to play in this season.
Let's hope so. Derby County have the possession in their own half, and on the ball now is Jake Rooney. Tries the ball through the middle. Ellison does well to get there first, and then he tries a little ball over the top for Jack Barham, but he doesn't get the backspin he wanted on it. Pulled the wrong club out of his bag there, and it goes all the way through to Harley Price. Confirmation that sneaky preview I got of the fourth officials board was the right one. 3 added minutes. We're 11 seconds into that now. Ball down the left for Derby, being chased by DeJean Brown. My goodness me, he's got some pace. He's into the penalty area, and Ellison does really, really well just to muscle back alongside him. And the ball's played through to Geordie Van Stappenshove. I think it did come off Ellison, but referee not concluding that it was an intended back pass.
No, I don't think that was anywhere near a back pass, but yeah, frightening pace from DeJean Brown, but then Ellison did really well to try and keep pace with him, stride for stride, and then when he saw an opportunity to nip the ball away, he did so. And I think his debut at AFC Fylde at Ellison was far from faultless, but I think he's been impressive this evening.
As Aldershot Town have as a whole. Drew Walters and Bobby Bear have both confirmed, yeah, it's free NLTV tonight. And shots coming down the left side with Scott, plays it to Corbett. He was just overstretching slightly, comes back to Scott, sends the ball in again to that spot he keeps looking for on the edge of the 6-yard box, and on this occasion Harley Price anticipates that, collects the ball, sends it down this right hand side to Barkhuizen. Barkhuizen inside again, a bit of a wall hold up play from DeJean Brown, and then good positioning from Ryan Jones, who wins the ball. Maghoma clears it forward. Derby will pick it up just inside their own half on the left hand side, and we're into the final minute and 15 seconds of this first half, where it remains Aldershot Town 2, Derby County under 21s 0. The only National League Cup game being played tonight. There are some FA Cup replays being played this evening. Shots cut out the ball again, but Madger doesn't look inside before he passes it inside, and Derby County have the ball. Cross comes in from the number 2, Max Bardell, the skipper, and it's easily plucked out of the sky by Jordi van Stappershoef. And DeJean Brown thinks for a moment, Steve, about knocking it out of his hand. He was holding it underneath in one hand. I'd love to have seen him done it and given the referee a decision to make. But maybe that's me looking for a bit of drama where there wasn't any. Here's Madger with the ball forward. Jones turns it around the corner, but there's not enough pace on it to find his skipper. And similarly named Aaron Jones. Madger judged to have tackled despite doing absolutely nothing, just remaining stationary. And Derby County have themselves, as we go past the 3 added minutes, a free kick, left central, 40 yards out. Suspect it's going to be a cross into the box, high defensive line on the edge of the penalty area. It's Cruz Allen who's going to take it. In it comes. Ellison gets a little bit of a header on it, and James Durkin blows his whistle for half time. Shots to Derby County under 21s 0 at half time. With his thoughts on the first half is the former Aldershot Town media manager Steve Gibbs.
I think Shot's good value for the lead. Impressive performance, looking really strong. Some standout performances from welcome players. I think Manny Madger has been really quietly impressive, and I hope he is able to re-emerge for the start of the second half. 2 really well worked goals down this left hand side. Ollie Scott carrying on where he left off with that very, very impressive crucial late cameo on Saturday in the FA Cup against Bath. Derby County, as you'd expect really, I think. Good on the ball, playing out from the back, trying to build through the thirds, but not quite having that cutting edge, that penetration to get through the Aldershot Town defence, despite the impressive DeJean Brown leading the line. But you can't leave him unattended for too long. He's shown potential in this first half, but if Derby can get the service to him, then he will be dangerous and he will trouble the hosts.
Thank you, Steve. That's it, half time. Let's all get ourselves a cup of something hot, and we'll see you again within the next 15 minutes. Half-time scoreline here at the EBB on NLTV is Aldershot Town 2, Derby County under 21s 0. The match fitness up of the 2 central midfielders, Theo Widrington and Cameron Hargreaves, who've been a pair for the majority of the season and about to renew that partnership. In terms of who's still on, well, I think Ryan Jones is one of the players that's still out there. Henry is still out there. Corbett's still out there. So
looks like Manny Madger is one of those that
Manny Madger, and
off as perhaps you'd expect.
And I think the other one is the number 2, Lackey Bird. And I did say to you in the first half, Steve, that if there's one player who deserved a rest, it was Lackey Bird.
Absolutely, yeah. It does look like Aldershot Town are going to line up in an orthodox back four in the second half with Ryan Jones, Christian Magoma, Dan Ellison and Ollie Scott as that back four. Unless Theo
Widrington's going to go into the back four.
Is into the back 3. He will be the sweeper between Magoma and Ellison.
There you go. Basically, Theo Widrington has come on for Lackey Bird.
Number 15, Jack Perry, number 18, Harry Hawkins,
and Cameron Hargreaves has come on for Manny Madja. Here's Cruz Allen sending the ball out to the right hand side. DeJean Brown in onto his left foot, tries the shot, and it's just wide. Goal kick to Aldershot. Van Stappershoef at full stretch, but his save wasn't required in the end. Steve, quick word from you, and then I'll run through the changed Aldershot Town line.
Good move from Derby to start this second half. Desperately trying to get a bit of impetus going in their game, but yeah, Brown did well to cut inside, but just pulled the shot the wrong side of the post.
So the full Aldershot Town lineup then for the second half is Van Stappershoef in goal, Ellison, Widrington and Maghoma the back three. Scott, Ryan Jones, Cameron Hargreaves and Aaron Jones across the four in midfield, and then good tackle from Maghoma. Tries to play it off the Derby defender, but it goes straight behind the goal at the East Bank end for a corner to Derby County. Henry, Corbett and Barham still the front three. So we like the look and what we saw of Manny Madja this evening, but he's building up his fitness, so no surprise. Also took a couple of knocks in that first half. Corner in from Derby, met by the head.
I think it's Bardell.
I think it's Bardell, but I can't see. No, it is Rooney. That's why I was waiting to see if he had the armband or not, because they're similar size and stature, similar short blonde haircuts, and that's why I was waiting. But I just need to remember orange boots is Rooney. Jake, the cousin of Wayne and John. There we go. One mention in each half, that's all. We're limited to the one, aren't we?
Yeah.
An up and under from Derby's, met by the head of Maghoma. And DeJean Brown really quick to get on the ball, but then Maghoma really good to anticipate his touch and get onto the next ball. Widrington onto it, plays it forward. It's cut out by Kai Robinson, and Aldershot now win the ball off. Aaron Jones plays it off a Derby player into touch, throw in to the shots, and we're approaching 3 minutes of the second half, and it remains shots 2, the Rams 0.
And I didn't hear you complete the substitutions for Derby. 2 straight swaps. Number 15 Jack Perry replaced number 8, number 7 Tom Barkhazen on the right wing.
Cross in there,
evasive punch from the Derby goalkeeper.
Yeah, punched away. That's fine. Yeah, no, you give the update on the Derby substitute.
Yeah, Jack Perry straight swap on the right wing for Tom Barkhazen, and in central midfield number 18 Harry Hawkins replaces number 8 Liam Thompson.
Meanwhile, Derby are on the attack with number 18 Harry Hawkins. Cruz Allen involved again, spreads the play out to the right hand side, and that is Bardell on the ball. He's going to get the ball back again now. Derby County keeping possession. I think from here on in, from Aldershot Town and Tommy Widrington's point of view, Steve, I'd suggest he'd be looking for ideally a clean sheet for the team to come through unscathed, and possibly a goal for one or two of those that really need one. He likes a Corbett, who's on the ball now, dispossessed and fouls his man, and Paddy Gandor is going to get yellow as well. Kai Corbett, don't think he can have too many complaints.
No, it was a little bit clumsy on Perry, who had turned really impressively in the centre and has now retaken his orthodox position out on the right flank. Quick winger, opportunist, good movement, tenacious, can also play as a right back, but I think he's probably get better going forward than he is in defence.
Ellison should shepherd that one out. He's fouled anyway, so once again it's a free kick on the goal line to Aldershot Town. Confirmation that Boston are now 2-0 down at home to Gainsborough in that replay. And I only know that because one of my NL full-time colleagues, Christian James, is there, and he just put news of it in our WhatsApp group. Apparently Ian Culverhouse under a little bit of pressure now at Boston United. There's no doubt that you really feel the pinch when your home form's not quite there. And apparently the Boston fans have been pretty quiet about it until now, but they're letting the Boston United board know that they're not happy. There's nothing, if you're struggling in the league and you're struggling at home, there's nothing worse than going out of the FA Cup as well to a team in the lower division.
Yeah, and particularly something of a Lincolnshire local derby as well.
Absolutely. Shots playing it across the halfway line. Reminder, if you joined us late for the second half, that Theo Widrington has now taken his place in a back three as Aldershot decide not to risk Lucky Bird. He was pretty solid in that first half, just to really wrap him up in cotton wool for Saturday. I think, Steve, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as you said, he's built up a lot of minutes on the pitch in recent weeks, and yeah, he's done his job in the first half, and also it allows Tommy to have a look at young Theo in a different position.
Be interested to see how long Tommy Widrington plays James Henry for tonight. I wondered if he might give Henry and Barrett half a game each, but I do note that Josh Barrett isn't on the bench this evening.
No, maybe just the after effects of him limping off.
He was a bit,
at the end of the game.
Here's Ryan Jones sending Jack Barham scurrying down the right hand side. He tries the early cross and it's cut out by Ossa Yande just before Kai Corbett could get there. Good work there from Barham, recognising Corbett's need and desire for a goal, and he was outnumbered in the middle, but he tried the cross anyway.
Yeah, it was good play from Jack Bryan. You could see he looked up before he played the cross, so he knew that Corbett was in there supplying the cross that he himself would want to be on the end of. But yeah, Ossandi was a big barrier in between them.
Corbett is going to take the corner to the far post. Maghoma rose, but Rooney rose just in front of him. Ball's been kept in by Hargreaves down on the left hand side. He's played it off of a Derby County player for a throw in, which has been taken quickly. Ball's back with James Henry, 40 yards out. He's going to try a shot, always rising. He was shut down by DeJean Brown as he sent the ball forward. 53.5 minutes gone. It remains shots to Rams 0, and the Derby County goalkeeper Harley Price says, "Can I have another ball, please?" Because the other one's bouncing around somewhere near the High Street end at the bottom of the steps. Yeah,
it was not James's best effort. Always rising, always sliding away from goal, I think. But yeah, credit to DeJean Brown for shutting him down. But yeah, Derby have maybe started with a little bit more attacking impetus in this second half. Not quite yet able to fashion anything that would trouble Jordi van Stapelschef.
Here's a nice, neat little bit of interplay from Derby. 5 or 6 passes. They've not actually gone anywhere, but pinging it around nicely. Ball forwards deflected and goes through to Van Stapelschef. Barham jumps, but he's adjudged to be in an offside position, and the assistant referee in front of the North Stand media box here gets a little bit of flack for that one. Steve, what was your opinion? Tight?
Tight.
Derby player forward, comes off for the Derby player. I think we're going to see Hadi Gandor soon. Expect that to be for Barham rather than Corbett. Barham having started Saturday and played 55 minutes so far today, but could be wrong. It's always worth a little guess, isn't it? We've got 9 of the 11 right in the starting lineup.
Yeah, and I suspect it will be for Jack.
I've got an even stronger inkling now.
You've seen the
Ball forward from Derby on the right hand side, runs out of pitch, goal kick to the shots, and now we may very well see that substitution. No, it's not going to happen yet. Don't quite know why, because the fourth official's got his board ready. The ball's gone out of play. Maybe he needs a nudge from the shots management team. It's a nice little touch from Corbett into the path of Scott, but doesn't go off. Then Barham wins a flick-on header, but it runs all the way through, and Derby County will pick the ball up in the end. I'd say that the first 10 minutes of the second half have been a little bit like the first 10 minutes of the first. Not really much in the way of any goal-mouth action. Both sides feeling each other out. I don't think Aldershot or Tommy Widrington will mind this too much. They've got themselves a healthy 2-goal lead. They don't need to put their foot on the gas too much. I'm sure there'll be an element of take low risks in this second half, but certainly an intent to get forward when they can and add to the goal tally.
Absolutely, yeah. I think they will say yes. What they have, they can very easily hold, but I think there will be a desire for more goals as well.
Yeah, Jones to Jones. Ryan Jones goes down just on the edge of the penalty area. A few shouts for a penalty. He doesn't appeal himself. Nothing's given. Play continues, and nobody wastes any breath or anxiety on claiming it. Aldershot just get on with the game. Hargreaves out to Ollie Scott on the left. He'll get it back as well. And now Henry's going to ping a ball with his left foot. It's intended for Aaron Jones, but he doesn't quite get hold of it. Good nick from Ryan Jones just to take the ball off of Cruz Allen. And then Allen fouls Maghomer on the halfway line. And we will see that substitution now. The number 23, Hadi Gandor, for the number 22, Jack Barham. Barham sees the board now. Somewhat reluctantly comes off to generous applause. No goals for Jack tonight, but he's put his usual work rate instinct.
He has, absolutely. He is a willing runner. He plays the full width of the pitch. He comes alive in between the goalposts, yes, but he's more than willing to run the channels and do the dirty work, as we saw with that cross that so very nearly got through to the goal mouth a couple of minutes ago.
Here's Ryan Jones onto the ball down the right, plays it into the path of Aaron Jones. Not the best touch. Strong challenge comes off of the Derby player. Maghomer though picks up the loose ball, gives it to Ryan Jones. Ryan Jones to James Henry, assesses his options, tries one through the middle. That's too strong. Corbett with a forward run, and it goes out of play. Goal kick to Derby County. We are fast approaching the hour mark. 58.5 minutes gone. Aldershot Town 2, Derby County under 21s 0. Gandor, I think, has been challenged by Tommy Widrington to get in the middle a bit more. Here's Ryan Jones, 3-0. And it's Gandor who actually got the slight touch to press Derby out of possession there, and Ryan Jones grabs his second of the night. And I was just going to say, Gandor's been challenged to be in the middle, to be in that 6-yard box to have a better chance of scoring more goals, but on this occasion he'll settle for the win back of possession, and makes an immediate impact in the game. Steve Gibbs.
Yeah, good anticipation from Hadi Gandor, and once again that's Derby County playing out from the back to a fault, getting caught, but that's what the academy structure and particularly Derby County encourage the teams to do. Play out from the back, establish yourself as a footballer, a composed defender, and occasionally, maybe more than occasionally, you're going to give something away, but certainly it is an unfortunate facet of their play that they do play out so purely from the back that with a little bit of pressure they do get found out.
Steve Gibbs, I'm Rob Worrell. You watching NLTV this evening. We mentioned earlier on tonight that there's been an average of 4.5 goals a game so far in this competition, and we're on track really. An hour in, 3 already. They've all gone to the shots, and Ryan Jones has got 2 of them. In fact, if you want to keep up with the scoreboard tonight, what have you got to do? You got to keep up with the Joneses. You got to keep up with the Joneses. 2 to Ryan Jones.
I think we're officially retiring that line now.
1 to Aaron. I was going to say earlier that no one else called Jones can score tonight, but of course the Joneses can score again, can't they?
Yeah, I don't think there's any Joneses in the opposition, but
Derby going to make a sub. Alex Stepien Iwumini is going to come off, and that's the last time I've got to try and say his name this evening. That's a relief.
It's number 17, Owen Eames.
Yep, thank you, Steve.
That I think will probably be more of a straight swap. Perhaps more. Eames can play more attacking. He can also play defensive, so we'll see. A versatile midfielder.
And the number 12, Riley Maloney, has replaced Jake Rooney as well.
Yeah, Maloney is definitely more of he can play central midfield or as an attacking fullback, but very attacking, driving runs, beats the player. Scored straight from a corner recently as well, so certainly set piece delivery is another facet of his game.
Here's Dijon Brown holding the ball up. He's been well shackled tonight.
He has.
He's shown glimpses with his touch, his control, his pace, his movement of the obvious quality that we know he's got. But I think very, very quickly Aldershot Town have got onto him, if not onto him, just off of him, to try and pick up the next ball. And he's probably one of the few players in the Derby County under-21s lineup that Tommy Whittington and his management team would have known plenty about.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, whether they expected him to play this evening or not is a different matter, but as soon as you see his name in the lineup, then yeah, Tommy will be well aware of him from the impact that he made in his loan at Gateshead last season. And yeah, the Aldershot Town back 3 have given him no change whatsoever.
Shots with the throw-in. Not the best touch from Henry, but Jones recognises it and sends it across to Theo Widrington, who has taken his place in the centre of that Aldershot Town back 3. Lovely crossfield pass from Dan Ellison, finds the 2 Joneses, combining well again, and Ryan's got it now on the right hand side on the edge of the penalty area. Dinks a little ball in, that's headed away to the edge of the area. Hargreaves picked it up, shifts it to the right to James Henry. Henry finds Ryan Jones. Henry back in to Cameron Hargreaves. The ball's in, and he receives it in an offside position apparently. Hadi Gandor can't believe it, and neither can some of the North stand. Really seemed a surprising one, that, didn't it, Steve?
It did, yeah. I'm not sure that Hadi was at any point behind the last defender, but you have to say the assistant referee was more than better placed.
The shots pressing well again with that man Hadi Gandor on this occasion. The referee signals another free kick to the visitors, and it remains 3-0 to the shots in the 64th minute.
Yeah, Derby once again nearly getting caught out, playing out from the back. Price is a goalkeeper that likes the ball at his feet, but yeah, sometimes discretion is the better part of valour.
Good work there from Tristan Gill against Aaron Jones, and Owen Eames bursts forward now, shifts the ball out to the right hand side to his skipper Bardell. He's bursting forward into the penalty area, trying to get a cross in. It comes in, it's parried away by Jordi van Stapperschurf and then carried on by Hargreaves, and Ryan Jones slips as he turns on the greasy surface to try and get on to Hargreaves' pass, and Tommy Whittington shouted something from the dugout. I didn't quite pick it up what it was.
No, nor did I, and perhaps just as well.
Ball over the top from Derby, bounces once on the edge of the area and goes through to Jordi van Stapperschurf. Oh, that's a strong challenge on Hargreaves, but he recovers well, and in it comes again from the substitute Owen Eames, who's really trying to make an impact into this coming onto this game just before the hour mark.
Yeah, he's put in a couple of really strong tackles. That seems to be the key facet of his game, a bit of a midfield enforcer.
so far this evening, Cameron Hargreaves, Theo Widdrington and Haddy Gandor have come on for the shots. They've got 4 other substitutes, including the goalkeeper Marcus Dewhurst. I'm not sure what the competition rules are. I would imagine it's similar, 5 substitutions, and I'm sure in due course Tommy Widdrington will make more.
Yeah, and this is an official first team fixture, so there could be 2 more first team debuts. Aldershot Town substitutes number 6 and 7, academy graduates Morgan Elliott and Billy Walsh.
I don't think the official crowd's been announced, but can I confirm that it is 190? 190, the crowd this evening, all in the north stand. It will go down as a competitive all-time low for Aldershot Town, according to statistician Pete Stanford, who says 287 versus Christchurch in the Hampshire Senior Cup second round, November the 27th, 2007, is the lowest prior to this. But those who've come will have enjoyed seeing Aldershot on the front foot with a strong side, scoring 3 goals, and so far to this point a rare home clean sheet. But of course there are 22 minutes plus added time still to go.
Plenty of time for that to change, and Maxi Mullins, it looks like, is the next cab off the rank from the Aldershot Town bench.
That well-known Aldershot Town goal-scoring hero. Lovely interchange. Henry out to Ryan Jones on the right-hand side. He sends in a cross with his left foot, and it's going to be headed away by Bardell, but only as far as Hargreaves. Positions himself well, gets it under control, plays the ball forward. That's cut out again by Bardell, and a good ball from him to Sean Brown, who's now running against the entire Aldershot Town back 3. Thinks better of it, shifts it out to the right-hand side, and Aldershot gradually getting players back, and good positioning, good tackle from Dan Ellison, and then he's fouled, draws the free kick, and he's another of those relatively new shots players that we haven't seen too much of. Of course, he's on loan from Bristol Rovers, but he's another one who's equipped himself well tonight, Steve.
He has, absolutely. I said earlier, I think his debut against AFC Fylde was less than faultless, but yeah, he has impressed. He has impressed this evening, and he will definitely be needed in the next week to 10 days with those 3 big league games, and then the FA Cup tie at Bradford City. Aldershot Town need his pedigree.
Kai Corbett coming down the left-hand side for Aldershot. Gandal's in the middle, Ryan Jones is in the middle, Aaron Jones is making his way in. It comes in behind Ryan Jones and Haddy Gandor, and too far in front of Aaron Jones, and as the steady drizzle, Steve, gets heavier, the ball goes out of play away to our right. We did mention, of course, that if scores are level after 90 minutes, then we'd have a penalty shootout. I think it's fair to say if that happens from here on in, it'll be a pretty disgruntled 190, won't it?
It will, yes, yeah. Although maybe better that than the game dying out into a damp squib, but certainly, yeah, Aldershot Town have thoroughly deserved their lead. I think they've been impressive all around the pitch.
Now, prior to seeing the 4th officials board, let's play in what position onto the pitch is Maxi Mullins going to come on. I reckon he could probably come on in at least 10 of the 11 positions. I don't think he'll come on in goal. There's a ball down the right to Haddy Gandor. He's one-on-one against Osayandi. Sends the ball inside. Henry sends it out to the left. It's going to be hard to keep it in play for Ollie Scott, but he does well. Shifts it back to Corbett inside the area, gets a shot away. It's deflected behind for a corner to the shots in the 70th minute. And good play. Now we're going to see Maxi Mullins coming on, and we may have a clue into where he's going to play on the pitch, because he's going to come on for the skipper, Aaron Jones, the number 17, right wing back.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen him as a right-sided defender in his Aldershot Town career yet, but if he plays right wing back as adeptly as he plays centre back and centre forward, then he'll do for me.
I'm pretty sure I've seen him play pre-season last season.
He possibly did, yeah.
Maybe even the season before in a wing-back position. Certainly known that he can play there. Can he make immediate impact? In comes the ball, Ellison gets a header in. It's gone wide. And Ellison looks a real threat from set pieces. So far, he's stumped the woodwork, I think, in two of the 2 games he's started. He goes wide with that one. In fact, no, it's the woodwork and just wide again. Here's Derby playing out from the back. They won't change that philosophy, not in the course of this match anyway. There's a poor pass cut out by Hargreaves. Shot comes in from Hadi Gandor, well saved.
Yeah, the shot wasn't quite into the corner. So Price was able to make a relatively comfortable save, but he still had to get down, and strong hands nonetheless.
Aldershot pressing well, and they never press better than when Hadi Gandor's on the pitch. He's already done it twice since coming on as a sub. Ellison adjudged to have fouled on the halfway line. Free kick to Derby County under 21, 71.5 minutes gone, 3-0 to the Shots. Let's have a little bit of fun with the NLTV viewers. You can tweet at RobShot66 if you don't have my contact details, or on Facebook, and really just to support you, Steve, not to undermine you in any way. Some of those regulars that have already messaged in, you've watched the whole game. Who's your Aldershot Town man of the match tonight? And I'll pass on those votes to Steve, and they may or may not influence his final decision. Mullins for Gandor. Gandor inside to Ryan Jones, right hand side of the penalty, sends a cross in. I'm not sure who he was looking for. Goes straight to the keeper. Corbett was a little bit further behind. Derby play out on the right hand side. 1 pass, 2 passes. DeJean Brown can only help the ball on to a Shots defender, and they go back to Jordi van Stappershoef, or Jordi. I think he prefers Jordi. I don't think he's too bothered or too precious about it.
Not quite sure what Christian McOmer was trying there. He had 2 easy balls to Mullins or Jones, and in the end he just flighted the ball directly between the 2 into touch.
Gina and Ellie Balston have voted for Ollie Scott as their man of the match, so 1 vote in for Ollie Scott. Certainly would have been in those you're considering, I'm sure, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, there's still 15 minutes left. I'm keeping my powder very, very dry, but
Gandor inside, shot from Henry, deflects behind for a corner. Oh no, it's going to be gathered in by the keeper. Sorry, go on, Steve.
No, just to say, too early to mention yet, but Ollie has been impressive, definitely. Continuing where he left off on Saturday and giving Tommy a couple of welcome headaches, I'm sure.
We'll wait further votes. The Aldershot Town man of the match. Not something we usually do, but I suspect we've got a slightly higher ratio of viewers this evening, given that there's only 190 here, given that the TV coverage is free. Gandor to Ryan Jones. He's on the right hand side. He's up against 2 Derby players. Shifts it further wide to Max Mullins, who gives it back to him now. Shapes to forage forward into a little gap. The corridor was closed in front of him. Now shots go inside through Hargreaves and then to Kai Corbett, who's pretty deep at the moment. He's just running across the edge of the final third. Bobby Blair has voted for Aaron Jones for her man of the match. No votes as yet for Ryan Jones. All the best, fella. 75 minutes gone now, 3-0 to Aldershot Town. Hargreaves to Gandor, Gandor to Henry, who just slips as he tries to prod it further to Maxi Mullins. I think the real danger right now, just with that ever-increasing drizzle, with tired, aching limbs, is just a little pull, isn't it? And, so far, so good for the shots in terms of everybody coming through. We hope and think, we don't assume that Manny Madger's okay. He may well have only intended to play the first 45 tonight anyway. He did need a couple of moments of treatment. Good tackle there from Hargreaves, who slows down DeJean Brown in progress with the ball, but the loose ball runs to Derby, who picked the ball up again. Drew Walters, Ollie Scott for his 2 assists and forward play down the left. Honorary mention to Ryan Jones, who of course has scored 2 goals. Shots have the ball in possession of their centre-back, Theo Widdrington.
It's certainly somewhere that the Aldershot Town coaching staff have known that he can play. It was mentioned by Hugo Langton a few weeks ago, so yeah, it's just a good chance for a good opportunity for Aldershot Town to try that out in competitive circumstances.
Here come Derby, looking for some consolation at least in this game. And Jeff, I think it's Sperry, his surname, has given us a vote, but hang on 1 second. Here's Derby, shot comes in, that's well blocked at source, picked up by the number 3, squared in, or tried to be, comes off Ryan Jones to the corner. Ollie Scott for me too, from Jeff down in rainy Dorset. Corner then to Derby County under 21s, who just like Aldershot Town are playing their inaugural match in the National League Cup. We're going to see a debutant, I think, for Aldershot. There's the 5th and final sub in a moment, the number 36 Billy Walsh, but prior to that we may see another Derby substitution. Ryan Jones is onto the loose ball from the corner, runs it into touch. Derby take it quickly, and Ryan Jones continues. Another Aldershot Town player whose stock has risen this evening. There's been a few of those. I don't think anybody's done their cause any harm. Kai Corbett, who's been desperate for the minutes and goals, has battled hard. Just the one effort for him, which was deflected behind for a corner a few minutes ago. And it's one of the 2 Aldershot Town B team players, Morgan Elliott and Billy Walsh, who's going to come on. Billy Walsh, the latter, wearing the number 36 this evening. As Derby playing around with it at the back. Gandor's there pressing again. This time the keeper, Harley Price, is forced to send it into touch. And now we can see those substitutions. It is going to be an Aldershot Town. Well, I'm going to say an Aldershot Town debut, but I don't know if he took part in the Hampshire Cup game, so I'll have to keep my powder dry on that one.
I think we can call it an official first team debut for Billy Walsh, replacing James Henry. I'm not quite. I think we'll be kind to Mr. Henry and not point out the age gap between the 2 players, but yeah, Billy Walsh, more of a defensive midfielder, came to Aldershot after being captain of the AFC Sudbury Academy team, and yeah, congratulations to Mr. Walsh.
For Derby County, Charles Ibuka is coming on to replace centre-back Adisa Osayande.
Yeah, that's an attacking move from Derby.
Yeah,
Ibuka is a striker.
And he's bombing forward now on the outside of DeJean Brown, who's continuing his run into the penalty area, tries to shoot low, and it's well gathered, well stopped and well gathered by Jordi van Stapperschurf. And knowing the quality of DeJean Brown, I think we can only applaud the Aldershot Town clean sheet that's stretching to 80 minutes now.
Yeah, and in these conditions, you wouldn't blame any goalkeeper if they stopped that shot, but it squirmed away from their grasp. But no, Geordie did really well to hold on to it.
Here's Ryan Jones picking the ball up on the left. He's got an overlapping run from some of our Aldershot fans' man of the match tonight, Ollie Scott. Sends it inside to Corbett. Corbett just drifting out to the left hand side. He's going to give it back to Ryan Jones now. Aldershot electing to just keep possession, nothing wrong with that. Done their forward work with aplomb this evening. Ryan Jones and Aaron Jones with all 3 goals between them. The former with 2. He's still on the pitch. The skipper has departed, as now has James Henry. He's got another 79 minutes under his belt. Good work again from Ryan Jones, tracking back. And Aldershot have possession with Dan Ellison. Pete Stamford, I knew he'd be listening, I knew he'd confirm that this is Billy Walsh's first team debut. The Hampshire Cup is not considered a first team competition this season. I don't know what it is that decides whether it's first team or not, because I've never thought of it as one, but Pete himself has pointed out on occasions in the past that it is one.
Very much used to be.
So I don't know how you make a decision on any given season whether it's a first team fixture or not. This undoubtedly is the National League Cup, and Pete has corrected himself, and this substantiates something that Sam O'Sullivan said at half time, that there was a crowd less as Aldershot played the ball forward and is just about steered back to his keeper by Tristan Gill. And Pete Stamford confirms that Aldershot Town's lowest home attendance was 133 against Sholing in the Hampshire Senior Cup 3rd round on March the 7th 2023. Thank you, Pete, for correcting yourself. No need for any apologies. You're already forgiven. And Aldershot Town don't have a record low attendance this evening, Steve.
No, and I think everyone that is here will be pleased that they have made the effort to attend in person. It's been an impressive performance from Aldershot Town.
And they have the ball on the right hand side now with Kai Corbett. Cuts in, and then he's shoved off the ball a little too strongly by Gill, and Aldershot Town have won themselves a free kick. And I wouldn't mind betting that Kai Corbett wants another crack here, although Ryan Jones, it has to be said, Steve, is on a hat-trick.
Yeah, is it maybe I don't know, a yard too far? I mean, an ambitious player here, which certainly would fancy his chances, I think. Mullins has walked away, and it does look indeed like it's Corbett and Ryan Jones. Kai Corbett is the one measuring the run up.
And Ryan Jones is
taking a few steps. Whether you want a right or a left footer.
Yeah, we're in the 83rd minute. Shots already lead by 3-0. Kai Corbett steps up, slips a bit as he makes contact, and sends it both high and wide. And Ryan Jones is probably thinking now, he should let me have it, and I'd have got myself a hat-trick. Talking of Ryan Jones, good evening to Richard Petty, who says, hi Rob, between Ryan Jones and Ollie Scott for me, but if I have to just pick one, I will say Ollie Scott. And Jason Burney, and long-term Aldershot Town fans will get the humour in this one. He says Jason U21s for me.
Yeah, always Chewy. If in doubt, just go for Chewy.
Love that, Jace. Jason U21s, who I think these days lives in New Zealand, doesn't he?
He does, living a fantastic life, judging from his social media account.
But still getting man of the matches.
Not jealous at all.
Still getting man of the matches at the Rec.
And at a ripe old age, still playing football as well, I think.
Yeah, fit as a fiddle. Gary Michael D says, Ollie Scott for me too, Rob. Jones and Jones were all good. So good they named them thrice. Excuse me. 84th minute. Not sure if that is an outrageously long attempt at goal, Nick Horton style, or an overhit pass. I think it's probably the latter.
I think so, yeah. I think it was played in the channels for an on-rushing attacker. Steve, in reality, wasn't really anywhere near the ball.
Steve Gibbs and Rob Worrell have been your commentary team this evening, purely for NLTV. Hope you've enjoyed the game, whether you're watching from an Aldershot Town, a Derby County, or a neutral point of view. We'll have a few neutrals just tuned in and watching, because it's free, because there's no other games on NLTV this evening. And we're very sorry that the average in this competition so far, which was 4.5 coming into the game, has lowered slightly, but we have had the 3 goals. And certainly for the first time this season at the EBB, Shots have scored 3 and conceded none at the moment. Is not something that's repeating itself. Shots pressing really, really well. Hadi Gandor at the forefront of it, and he's fouled as he wins the ball back. Shots have a free kick. And I know it's only a National League Cup match, and we rarely would talk about referees, but I just think James Durkin's had a really good game tonight, and it hasn't perhaps been the most difficult of games, Steve, but no. He's got pretty much everything spot on for me.
He has, yeah. There were a couple of maybe contentious decisions that he could have got wrong.
DeJean Brown, edge of the area, trying to make room for a shot or to find a pass into the area. Derby have still got possession, well cut out by Ellison again and well cleared. And he's another one, there's 3 or 4 that have been very good, very consistent all night. Scott, Jones, Ellison. And here's Maxi Mullins playing the ball to Kai Corbett down the right hand side. And Aldershot keep possession through the debutant Billy Walsh. In lieu of any other updates to give you, I can tell that former Shot Shamir Fenelon has scored for Horsham against former Shots manager Ross McNeely. Horsham 3-0 up in that one tonight. Here's Corbett sending in a low cross, an early cross, from the right hand side. He battles for the loose ball that subsequently follows, and he can't win it, but Ryan Jones does, and then Aldershot do lose out. Great tackle from Billy Welsh. Ball comes off him into touch, throw into Derby, taken quickly up towards Ebuka. Widrington goes back to Jordi van Stappershoef, and he clears it first time, but it's won in the air by Gill. Hargreaves then wins the header centrally. Gandor battling away from it. Hargreaves as well. Gandor wins it, shifts it out to Corbett. Ryan Jones is limping a little bit, coming back from an offside position. I hope he's okay, because he's one player that's surely played himself into the thoughts of Tommy Widrington today. And at this point, it's a toss of a coin who he might start at left wing back on Saturday, because Ryan Jones and Ollie Scott are the 2 players that have probably given him the most cause for consideration.
Yeah, good to have those tough decisions.
That's what he'd say if we spoke to him afterwards, as we may or may not do this evening. I've got one eye on that 21-10 train. Don't think we're going to get the penalty shootout. That's one thing that's a relief. Although I'm sure it would have been entertaining. Aldershot keeping possession well between Hargreaves and Walsh. And Maghomer, who goes back to Jordi van Stappershoef. And fair to say in the 89th minute that we've just entered, that Shots with 3 goals scored and a clean sheet to protect want that. But it is a breakaway from Ebuka, and he's trying to shake off players, but there's just too many of them. And eventually Aldershot win the ball back through Ollie Scott, and Hargreaves will give him the ball back now, play it down the line to Ryan Jones into Hargreaves, turns it down the line up to Hargreaves, and Gandor tries to play it out to the right hand side, which is the only pass they didn't get right in 4 or 5 there. Tommy Widrington not happy with it, and that's because he got very high standards and expectations, but I think he'd be really pleased with the way his team's playing tonight. The starters, the finishers,
thoroughly professional.
Very, very professional performance. Shots have it in midfield, one back, and played back through Gandor and Hargreaves to Ollie Scott. We're into the 90th minute now. Keep an eye on the 4th official. He's just keying in the number of added minutes. And Aldershot play it down the right hand side. I think it might come off Mullins. It will probably be a throw to Derby County. The board has readied his, the official has readied his board. He's holding it down his left side, so I can't get a sneak preview of it. 89.5 minutes gone. Let's hope it's a real low number, Steve. 2 or 3 would be nice. Is Ebuka turning the ball around the corner, cut out again for the umpteenth time this evening by Dan Ellison. He's fouled, referee plays on, and then Ryan Jones is fouled, and the referee blows for a free kick. 3 added minutes.
You've got your wish.
21-10, here we come. 90 plus 3 to go. Ellison's down just with a little bit of cramp. He'll be pleased to have gotten through 90 minutes this evening, hopefully. Nothing more than that. He's already received the ball from the free kick and he's jogging forward, so he's fine. Sends it out to the left side. It's a bit of a no-look pass in the end, and it was a bit too strong and ran across in front of Ollie Scott. Derby County take the throw in. And it's been a good start to the National League Cup for Aldershot Town this evening. And is Ibuka on a forward run. He's going to try a shot from distance. He is. He's going to drag it wide. It'll go behind for a goal kick to Jordi van Stappershop. Steve, would you mind giving your Aldershot Town man of the match inside the added time, just so we can wrap up promptly on full time?
Yeah, I think the two names that have dominated the viewers' poll, I think, are definitely my final two, and I think I probably concur with the majority. I think Ollie Scott has, I've said it already, he carried on from where he left off on Saturday in creating the winning goal for Max Mullins against Bath, and I think he's been excellent this evening.
Yep.
But it has been a really solid team performance as well.
Yeah, mentions in dispatches most certainly for Dan Ellison and Ryan Jones, of course, with his 2 goals. Lackey Bird putting in an exceptional first half. Hadi Gandor's come on and been really, really good. Christian Maghoma hasn't put a foot wrong, and to be fair to Christian Maghoma, he's barely put a foot wrong all season, other than on the 59th minute on Saturday.
Other than that very definite wrong placing of the foot, but he'll take his punishment, and then he will slot back into this Aldershot Town defence, because he's very clearly an asset to the team.
One humorous moment from that little viral clip going round on social media with the Maghoma red card tackle was somebody in the North Stand shouting, "He got the ball!"
There's always one that tries valiantly to claim it, but no, he did not get the ball, I'm afraid.
30 seconds or so left. Maghoma heads the ball clear, bounces over Corbett and Gill, and then the ball is kept in by Harry Hawkins, who exchanges passes with Owen Eames. Now up to DeJean Brown, back to Gill, and Derby coming down the left hand side, and the shots probably only need to keep their clean sheet for another second, because the final whistle has gone. And those that are here stand and applaud Aldershot Town, that's for sure. Very, very comfortable and impressive first home game in the National League. 3-0. Ollie Scott nipping between 2 defenders and squaring it. Ryan Jones with the finish on 18 minutes. Aaron Jones after another Scott cross from the left in the 32nd minute, and then Hadi Gandor pressed in to win the ball back, and Ryan Jones smashing home his second on 59 minutes. Aldershot begin their National League Cup campaign with a 3-0 win against Derby County under-21s. And here with his summary of the game is Mr. Steve Gibbs.
Yeah, impressive, decisive, comprehensive victory for Aldershot Town. Derby County never quite had enough to trouble Jordi van Stappershop, and that really solid, impressive shots defensive performance. But as Aldershot Town's first foray into this competition, a really impressive introduction and a valuable workout. And hopefully everyone that was here this evening has enjoyed them, and they will hopefully spread the word that this has been a very enjoyable, entertaining evening at the Ebb Stadium. And when Aldershot Town host Brighton and Hove Albion on the evening of Tuesday the 5th of November, there will be more than the 170, 190 people here, because it's been a really enjoyable experience. And
190, yeah.
190, it's been a really enjoyable experience and an excellent workout that will hopefully stand Aldershot Town in good stead for the National League challenges to come in recent days.
Thank you very much, Steve Gibbs. Thanks for watching and listening this evening to our viewers on NLTV. Final score: Aldershot Town 3, Derby County under 21s 0.